Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the series where we are together developing a Android tower defense game. Let's review what we've done last time. Those 2 points, the monster factory to spawn monsters more efficiently, and their pathfinding, the crucial point, them finding a way through the map, like so. Today, I would like to continue on Joe's maybe 3 points game state, which will be needed for the tower placement, because placing a tower would be a new game state, and playing the game or letting the wave go through the maze will be another state, so that the input can be separated into those states. I hope it's understandable. Okay, so if you guys don't have any initial questions, I guess we can head right on and start programming. So for the game state, I was thinking I'm gonna need a abstract class. Let me just copy this. And make it an abstract, because each real game state will inherit from this and be used as a game state. And each game state will have 2 methods. The update and the draw method. Obviously needs to be abstract. Hello. Hello, great prophecy. Private. Why does it think it's private? Okay. Why do I prefer VS Code? It's a great question. I'm getting that a lot. I just feel it provides me with the basic functions I really need, instead of cluttering the UI and all the stuff that I barely would be using. So it starts in a second, it restarts in a second when something crashes. It's basically lightweight enough to do the job I need to do and don't bother with the extra stuff around. And there are always some nice plugins if you need to like enhance the capabilities. So this will be the abstract base class for the game state. The game manager will have a state, obviously, or we could do something like a state manager to switch between the states and to rely on other things. Yeah, why not? We can always refactor. Let's do the fail fast approach. Let's try this route, and the worst that can happen is we're gonna lose a few minutes. Is VS Code debugging well? It's my secret. I don't debug a lot, as I want to know what I'm doing, or wish to know what I'm doing, and understand the code enough to not rely on debugging that much. So I'm always trying to, like Neo, read the code and find the bug myself. It's obviously time consuming, but it's a way to learn a lot. But you can debug as well. I usually, or sometimes, occasionally do just basic breakpoint stuff. So let's have a current state, maybe private game state. Let's call it current state. Let's have a update that will call the current state update, and let's have a draw that will call the current state draw. Basic stuff. And let's first close all those that we don't need now. Okay. Instantiate the manager. It's gonna be the first thing, I guess. And then instead of calling all these updates and draws, let's just rely on the state manager to do its job. So let me just comment this out for now and call the update. The same here. And then let's do the actual states. So first will be something like a play state, something like that's currently running game. So let's call it play state. Let's do all of this. And it's gonna override the needed abstract methods. And so for the update, it's gonna do the stuff we did up till now. So let me grab this. And now we can see we're gonna need the references. So let's just easily, for each state, provide the game manager class reference, so the state can always access anything it needs. How do we do that? I think we can just do it in this base class. for a GM. And it's obviously gonna need a variable for that. Okay. Now we need to add it to the constructor of the each state. Like so. And now we should be able to access this once we make it not private. Let me think. Sure, why not? Let's refactor, I mean, as we go and whatever we're gonna need. So we need monster manager, map, and button. Let's make it public. And I would like to rename this. Okay. Should be called this. Okay, something's not right. Protection level. How so? Oh, okay. We need to obviously make it protected so that the inherited classes can access these. Come on, work. I am missing something. Maybe a save. Oh. Okay, still not right. Oh, I've changed something else. Okay. What have I changed? Oh, I changed current state instead of. Okay. Change this back. Right. So the button. This is gonna be in some UI manager later on, but let's not bother with it. And the map. Okay, cool. And let's do the same for the draw. Where is the draw? Somewhere around there. Okay. Yep. So that's the first state. State manager. And for testing purposes, let's initialize the current state as the new place state, and we need the game manager. So let's provide it in the constructor. Okay, this is not supposed to be there. And the initialization, let's do it like this, providing reference to this game manager. So everything is correct. Now the game should do the same as it was doing before, but now using the semi game state machine. Update, draw, creating this with this state that does the stuff. I'm gonna confidently proceed as it's okay, hopefully. And go with another state, which could be something like what? In between waves, like waiting for maybe pressing the button to start another wave. So let's call it, I don't know, idle. It's basically later on be the phase where we're gonna build the towers, maybe. Let me just copy all of that. Let idle. Blah 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 blah. Cool. And in this state, I want to show the button only. Let me think. Why not? Let's, during the played state, don't draw the button and don't update the button. So you can't push the button while the monsters are coming. But once the wave is over, we're gonna switch to the idle state and draw the button again. What does the map update do? Updates the tiles, which can toggle the blocked, non-blocked state. That's something also we don't need in the play state. So I'm gonna disable the update. Still want to draw the map. It's okay, because we want to see the playing field. We want to draw the monsters, but there's during the play state, of course. During the idle state, I'm thinking there shouldn't be any, so there shouldn't be anything to draw, but it's okay to leave it as it is, probably. Maybe the monster manager will have another responsibilities later on, so let's leave it on. So during the update, we're gonna just update the monsters. draw the map, draw the monsters. Okay, and during the idle, let's draw and update everything. And now we need to switch between the states. How do we do that? Sounds like a job for the state manager. And let's make a method like switch state, probably. And now I'm thinking we could also do an enumeration of the states and switch by enums instead of instances. Okay, I know. Let's try that. Let's call it maybe states. So the first one will be, let's start with idle. Idle and play state. Then I'm thinking we're gonna be needing prepared instances of those states saved in a dictionary, so that we don't have to like instantiate every time we need to switch the state. So let's do it like that. Let's do it in the state manager, and it's gonna be private dictionary of game state, and the key will be the states enumeration, and let's call it states. Okay, and let's fill the dictionary in the constructor. So states, let's initialize the dictionary. You've got the game manager. We won't be needing this, but we need to fill the dictionary. So states at the first key gonna be states idle, and let's fill it with new idle state taking in the game manager. And for the other state, do it like this. And current state's gonna be states states idle. Let's start in the idle mode. Does this make sense so far? Is it okay? Is everyone up to speed? So, and when changing the state, I would like to do is just prepare for the next state, so it's not switched like in the middle of processes. Let's say game state next state. And let's say next state's gonna be this. And the first thing in the update, I will just switch to the wanted state. So something like current state, it's gonna be state. We should do some null checking, I guess. Okay, so if X state is not null, let's do this and reset next state. Then we just proceed with the update. Hello, Tim. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you again. You're very kind. And feel free to request any topics that aren't too difficult. I mean, there are comments wanting some crazy stuff that would be really hard and long, but maybe one day I will be able to fulfill all your wishes. So now we can switch state. Switch state. Okay, seems okay, hopefully. So back to the game manager. We are initiating the state manager that starts in the idle mode. And what I would like to do is to not spawn monsters at this start. Let's comment out this. And I want to spawn them only when the button is pressed. Let's call it like the start button or stuff. So that should already be like that. So in the idle, we update the button and it gets clicked, fires up the on tap event, which is mapped somewhere around here to spawn the monsters. Taking game design in college, good for you, a very, very good decision. Your tutorials have really helped me a lot. You are very welcome. That's why I'm doing this, to help you and maybe help MonoGame as well. You can maybe join the currently ongoing contest on the channel, making a little game. I'm sure you can later use it as your schoolwork of some sort. Okay, so now when pressing the button, we're gonna start the wave. We should also switch the state at this point. So when pressing the button, let's switch the state. Thinking I'm gonna for now change the name for this method from spawn monsters to stuff like start wave. Have you got an issue in Android MonoGame when the navigation bar is still black, although edited in code? Hello, Domino. And No, this is actually my first Android project, and I haven't bothered with any of this advanced stuff. I just set up those thingies. Where is it? Maybe like this. All those things as I needed. Some basic stuff, as I have very limited knowledge about Android development for now. As I said, this is my first kind of learning project. And it's mostly not revolving around Android that much, except for the touch input so far. So I haven't dealt with the advanced Android stuff, like those bars and stuff. Only the other thing was like covering the display, so getting the canvas drawn, a custom sized display. Okay, so when starting the wave, you're gonna change the state, and that's made by the state manager, which is called state manager. So let's call state manager switch state, and it's in the states play state. This should change the state to play state, start drawing monsters, updating them, hiding the button, and stuff. So once this is done, we should get back to the idle state, and this is gonna be recognized as all the monsters are dead, killed, or fulfilled their destiny. So should be somewhere around monster manager. That's the list, and we should recognize that the list is empty. We start by filling the monsters into the list. So once we switch to the play state, the list is already populated. So I'm just thinking it should be fairly easy in the update. When we remove that monsters, we can just check if the monsters count is less than 1 for reasons. Let's just switch the state, and as you can see now, I'm gonna need to reach to the state manager. I found your tutorials helped me nail down the concepts of OOP. Great, even though I've never aimed for that, but I'm glad it helped you a lot. Thank you again. I will try to put out as much content as I'm able. Those streams are now kind of a way to reach out and connect with you guys, because I'm in a process of moving and stuff, and I won't be able to edit usual offline videos, so I'm doing at least these live streams. They are let's say less time consuming and, to be honest, more fun. So now I need to access the state manager, which I can't since it lives in the game manager. What I would love to do is, again, make it a static thing so that anyone can access it, and there's gonna be just one. So that's my justification for it, that it's okay, even though I know people hate it. But I love it, so I'm gonna do it. And instead of make it a constructor, I'm gonna make it a void method. And this makes it a lot easier to access the state manager from anywhere. Again, it might not be the cleanest, so Team B, ask your teacher what he thinks about it and let me know. Dev space, is that a hard stroke, or are you accepting this approach? I'm just too lazy to hand over the reference from one to another in the chain of command. That's just tiring. See, simple. And instead of initializing the state manager like this, I'm just gonna call the initialize. And we don't need this. Every static keyword is one step to hell. I would like to agree, but it just makes stuff so much easier in this little project. I agree. In like enterprise projects and big stuff, you don't want to do this. But since I'm planning to have a limited number of classes and stuff, this is the way. So once the monsters count drops, we can switch states back to idle. See, easy. One line, no need to transfer a lot of references. Okay. Is there something not tied up? Any loose ends? Looks like we're okay. State, blah, 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 blah. State manager. State, switch, update, stuff. Okay. Let's give it a go. I'm scared. Unity is much easier. That's why it is an engine, not a framework. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, it's a crutch. You're gonna just learn how to use the Unity UI, click on magic buttons that do stuff, and won't have the knowledge sometimes, usually, what it really does. And when the time comes that you want to do something unique and innovative that Unity doesn't have a button for, you're in trouble. So that's the idle state. Drawing the map and the button, and hopefully when I click the button, it disappears. Monsters will come, and once they die at the bottom, the button reappears. And now we should be able also to edit the map. So start. Oh, cool. Button is now I cannot edit the map while the wave is running. Perfect. And once they die, it reappears. So the state switching seems to be working on the first try. That's unusual, but hey, we're great. So that's like one level of the game. Once it all happens, we switch to the in-between states where we can manage and start the next wave. Perfect. Okay. So that would be the game state. Let me mark it as done on same tool. It will be updated in progress, of course, but it's working for now. Okay, another big task is to start placing towers. For a simple game jam with basic knowledge, Unity is a good tool. Game Maker 2 might be better. Never worked with Game Maker, but I know there are very successful games made in Game Maker. Game Maker has my respect. Yeah, it has drag and drop coding if you are not experienced. Exactly. It's like dragging boxes, marking checkboxes, stuff. It's of course great for prototyping and doing something fast. But once you know what you're doing enough, you can do pretty fast prototypes with MonoGame as well. Given that you have like the code snippets ready for basic stuff, maybe have your own game framework / engine ready that you can customize and stuff. Yeah, it's just different approach, slightly different. Phew, tower placement. That's gonna be a bit of thinking. I haven't thought through this so far. I know I'm gonna have to use MS Paint to maybe prepare something like a tower image. Let's not obsess about this too much. Let's just do something like, you know, a tower. Um, there's a tower. Ah, okay, not like this. How do you feel it? Okay. That's a perfectly looking tower. Okay. It's too large. Nope. Ah. Photoshop would be so much easier, right? Well, as I said, let's not obsess about it. Let's pretend that's a tower. Ah, now I've overwritten the tile. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Can I go back? Ah, luckily. Tile. Save. Yes. Ah, cool. We're back. Okay, so there's our tower. Let's edit the content. Yes. Save. Build. 3D in MonoGame. No, I've at the very beginning decided not to do 3D as I don't think it's feasible for a one person to do a good enough 3D game. I know there are people that can handle it, but it's either an asset flip or a many years of work that could be used elsewhere and better. So I'd rather not start doing 3D. I mean, I admire people that can and have patience and knowledge to start doing 3D stuff in a monogame framework. But to be honest, I'm yet to see a good looking one. Sorry to any 3D monogame developers. So we've got the tower. It obviously should be a sprite atlas, but let's not bother with over optimizing from the beginning. It's an easy to fix stuff, and that's not the purpose for now. As far as it's gonna be running okay, I will not bother about optimizing. That could be like the very, very last step. So tile. me think about the next steps. Also, feel free to advise. As I always say, I got nothing prepared. I don't want to like program ahead and then just show you me copy pasting from like another file and pretending how cool I am. So let's just deprocess. Um, Tower placement. Yeah. So inside the idle state, when tapping the map, let's put a tower there. Should be easy. And we will have to provide the texture, change the tile. Okay. Feels like another static is incoming. Close your eyes. Because so the map holds the tiles. So far we don't have like any identification of what the tile is, because we've got just one type of tiles. And only now we've added like another type. So we're gonna have to implement some kind of way of differentiation. It should be an attribute of the tile. And it could be somewhere around there. Private. Sorry for the silence. I'm thinking. So that's my thinking phase. Again, let's just brainstorm one way, and we might hit a roadblock and delete everything, but I think we just have to get on the road and see how it goes. So let's do I'm thinking I'm gonna do another enumeration for the tile type. It could be like tile, let's do it grass and tower, for example. Public tiles type, maybe. And instead of providing the texture. Oh, hi Fizzle, hello, welcome. I would love to provide like the type, but the base requires the texture, so we might even rework the base class of sprite. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Okay. What I'm thinking now is where to load all the textures and hold them. If it should be inside a tile or a map, which seems more appropriate, but I've seen a few of your MonoGame tutorials. Oh, I didn't know. I'm gonna have to check some. Send me some links on Discord, maybe. Thank you. The problem I'm trying to solve now is when selecting a tile, it's happening inside or is it not? Update, update, update. Yeah, it's happening inside the tile update. And the map doesn't have the information. So you can either do an event like, hey, I was picked this tile, and going back to the map with this information, handling it however we need, or make more statics that you don't approve of. So let's try doing the event thingy. Okay. And we could like come up with custom delegates for the event, but that's two child classes. Yeah, that was like the other approach I was considering. Splitting the tiles the same way as maybe states, but I don't think they differ that much that it justifies making a new classes for every type of the tile and later on every type of tower, since it could end up being just a different ID. Maybe we'll see, maybe we'll have to refactor later on, but we would have the same trouble. I mean, this will have to get resolved either way. So let's click on select. select, maybe. Why not? And we're gonna have to I guess provide custom event arguments, since I want to transfer the basically those the indices of the tile. Are they? Yeah. Okay. So let's, I guess, do a custom event handler. I know we can just like cast these objects, blah blah blah. Let's do it. Let's do it custom. So I should like split it into a new file, but I'm gonna leave it here for now. Which is also not clean, but it's manageable. A class, let's call it selection data, for example. Let's have public int map x what's it not liking? Okay. Considering. Oof. Why not struct? It could be a struct. What's this? Primary constructors. Okay. Okay. Brackets misplaced. Could be a struct. It could be a struct. It's. I don't think it's that much of a difference. No. But okay. So we're gonna send this packet of data saying which tile has been selected. Okay. And we're gonna need a custom delegate. Let's call it Selection event, never. Maybe. Okay. And it's gonna like this. Do I have to put it inside a class? Oh, we need a name. Record. Record instead of struct. Okay, that's another way. Okay. Let's use record auto implementing. And generate public event. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Sounds like what I was missing. And let's fill the data. Thank you. Yeah, I completely forgot you can specify like the generic. Thank you for reminding. And is this all? Selection data. Selection data. And tapping the tile. Call the event, provide the indices of the tile. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now we have to connect it from the other side. And now just again, so that I don't have to like connect every tile separately. And since they are all doing the same, I'm gonna make it static. And now we have to just come up with a method. Let's just call it handle selection for now. And we need the selection data. No. Oh, that's why I like to do a custom delegates. I don't have to deal with this. But is this a place for your magic trick like this? No, no. Was working last time. No. Okay. Okay. What's wrong? Right. But why is this so popular? I mean, I'd rather see a custom delegate there. Would it be bad? And so there we have the map X, map Y. So what are we gonna need to do with them? Something like tiles. Blocked. So this should keep the logic we had for now. Keeping it the same. Oh, I see. Okay. I understand now the signature. I would still maybe like to rewrite this to a custom delegate. But I'm gonna leave it as it is for now. So clicking a tile will just change the block state. So we've done nothing as of for building the tower or changing the texture for now. But we are getting there. So let me just quickly try that we haven't broken anything. And it should be working still the same. So clicking a tile should switch the blocked state. And then here in the handle selection, instead of just switching the blocked state, we can add more stuff like changing the texture. And not just the texture, but the type of the tile itself. Which means we're gonna need a different logic for the updates, because the updates of the towers should, you know, attack the monsters and stuff. So this means we might end up with like uh, different classes for the tile with this ancestor. Okay, so changing the tiles is working. That's great. Okay, so nothing is broken. Now, instead of just switching the block state, we might start working on placing the tower. Now we know where we want to place it. We've got the data for the indices of the map tile, but we currently don't have a way to place the tower. Yeah, so let me move this to a new folder with tiles. Let me do a tiles and put this there just to make it cleaner. And selection data can stay there for now. Okay, this is okay. This is okay. Let's just quickly create a separate class for the tower tile, or tile with tower. Let's just start by calling it tower, and just gonna copy paste this. Now I'm thinking, do I want to inherit the tile? I guess so. Okay. The type isn't used for now. I'm gonna comment it out, since instead of changing the type, we might change the object type as a whole. So this is that. And now we're gonna need to provide, okay. So we need a texture, position, and those positions. Okay. It's getting a little more complicated. I'm thinking making the events static for the tile. I'm afraid it's gonna be inherited to tower as well, right? We'll definitely need a separate update logic. In the tower tile will do different things than the grass tile. So instead of selecting, should be looking for monsters, and it's gonna be now I'm thinking it might go a step higher and not handle like each firing from the tower itself, or maybe just handle it in the game manager so we can see at one time the monsters versus the towers. It will be on the map. So now I'm thinking I might not need to do the separate class for tower, because there's not really much to do. I think I'm just gonna go back, delete this, and do the update and slightly change the logic of this, because I'm gonna instead use the tile type, and for the constructor we're gonna provide the type of the tile we want to add. So tiles type, tile type, type, tile type, and let's say if type is grass, and do this. Let's use the brackets. I'm just gonna do it like this for now, just to restrict the selection to the grass tiles only. And now we just have to provide the textures. So I might do a quick tile factory, maybe, that will also load the textures. And for now, let's not complicate it and do it like this. But we still need to load the textures and create the tiles. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just whip up a quick tile factory. It's gonna be easy. What do I need? Like this. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sure. It's gonna have a dictionary for the textures. It's gonna be keyed by the tiles. Well, it's tile textures. And later on, of course, this could be refactored into like regions of a sprite atlas. So the grass texture, I think it's called tile. Yeah. And for the tower, it's tower. So this will prepare the textures. And we can provide a simple method to extract the wanted texture. So texture to the, I don't know, get tile texture. By type. And just simply return the content of the dictionary. I'm gonna leave it public if we're gonna need maybe somewhere to get a specific tile texture. But mostly what we're gonna need is a tile generator. So what do we need? We need to get a tile. Let's copy this. A type. So let's call it a create tile. Gonna need a type again, of course. We don't need the texture because we can extract this from the dictionary, but we're gonna need the map X and map Y, and we can calculate the position, I believe. Hope. I think it's gonna be something like map to screen. But again, that needs a reference to the map. We could again make it a static method or function, and I think in this case it's very suitable. Is it not liking now? Tiles. Oh, I've changed the signature for the tile, right? That's the place where we're gonna use the the tile factory we are working on now. Try to remember that's the offset because of the origin, right? But why? Is this calculating the position? I believe. Okay. So this is what we need in the there. We just park it here. And what we need is this. So tile type, texture, map position. Okay, we should have all the ingredients we need. So return new tile, and first we need a tile type. We've got that. Then, okay, code inside. Hello. Okay, but then we need the texture. It should be this. Okay. Then we need the position. Could be calculated with the map to screen and should be this. And for some reason, we've got this half a tile notch there. And then just map X and map Y. Okay. Are you still with me? I think that should be okay. Okay. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. So there, when creating the tiles, when generating the map, instead of doing this, we're gonna use the tile factory that we need to instantiate first. And is it gonna be part of the map? That's a question. Okay, could be. Why not? For now, at least. Make it private. And there's a typo. Okay, tile factory. Hello, Nick. So, tile factory. Let's go it. Tile factory. Let's generate a new tile factory. Cool, and now we can use it here. tile factory, create tile, and let's start with okay, grass. Is there a different namespace in the? Nope. Oh, there's the same naming. Okay. So let me rename these. And it's tiles. So let's call it map tiles. And now there's no collision. And we need to provide the coordinates. I hope it's X and Y. Okay. That seems all right. And now instead of just switching the block, now I'm thinking we could adjust the tiles properties based on the type here in the tile factory. So let's just grab that tile and no, we can't do that. But maybe just based on the type, change the state. So if type is tower, and that could be done many ways. Maybe a switch statement and stuff, but since we've got just only one special type for now, let's keep it simple. So if the type is tower, let's change the block state to true. Is it okay? I hope so. So, and here in the map, when handling this selection, just instead of changing the block state, that should be changed automatically, we're gonna create a new tile with a tower. So, do we have a method for that? Since we were doing this, I think we could extract this into a method. And I'm gonna already make it public. Could be handy. Gonna call it change tile. Again, we're gonna make a type that we're gonna want to change into, and the coordinates. And it should do this. Okay. So let's use it there already. So we've got it. And now we can reuse it in the handler selection. So it's gonna be this style and change it into a tower. Cool. So we haven't done many mistakes. This should be working and change the tiles into towers. They won't do anything for now, but it would be cool to see them at least. Okay. Am I not initializing tile textures? Okay. So this is gonna crash terribly, I guess. I'm missing initialization. Oh, we just have to wait for the app to crash, I guess. We could terminate. Okay. We can simplify this. And let's give it a go again. So this should somehow implement the tower placement task, because now we have the map data for where the towers are located or not. So let's click, click, click. Now clicking it again will not deconstruct the tower, which is as we want it and implement it, because only clicking on a grass tile is registered. So obviously we can remove the red colorization. So I think it's working. Okay, it's all right. Some good news finally. I'm just gonna quickly remove the red colorization because it's redundant for now. Okay. I'm gonna just mark it as completed. Somewhat. Let's build again. That might be it for this session. I'm sorry we didn't get to attacking the monsters with towers. Took a bit longer than I expected. There were paths we had to explore and come back from. But I think we are on the right track now. As we have the state machine ready, that's gonna be very important and handy. We can select tiles and notify the system about the tile selection. It's also gonna be very handy. We can now easily add more tile types, aka more tower types. We will need to add more monster types later on, and we've got a monster manager prepared for that. It's some there's an analogy for the tile factor in the monster manager. Okay, so do you have any final requests or questions about anything? I think I'm gonna leave it as it is for now until next time, because the next task is again a bigger one. It's gonna take a fair amount of time, I believe. The attack system, I'm thinking it's just gonna, inside the game manager, just compare the distances for each tower and monster. And I think they are gonna shoot the nearest one. And we're gonna have to implement some HP and stuff. Maybe visualize the projectiles, implementing fire speed and fire range, all that stuff. Cool, so great things are ahead of us, but we've done a fair amount today as well. So thank you for watching, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time, hopefully soon. Also, let me know in the comments what are the best days / times in including the time zone that you can join, so I can plan better, so you don't miss anything. So leave a like if you liked staying with me, and I'm gonna be looking forward to see you next time. So see you soon. Bye bye.